If you do these 3 things when you're navigating the disrespectful behavior from your kids, I can guarantee you it will create the possibility that they shift their behavior, shift how they feel, and open a connection with you. Okay? So there's 3 things that I'm going to go over in this video that I think are really going to make a difference for you. I actually can guarantee it. Okay, let's set the scene. So your child comes home from school. They had a terrible argument last night. They come home. You can tell they're still pissed before they even come in the door. They open the door, smack a glass off the kitchen table, smashes on the ground. They run upstairs and slam their door. You're feeling a whole host of things. You're pissed, you're upset, you're hopeless, you're feeling defeated, you're feeling incompetent as a parent, and probably a host of other things that are pretty unpleasant. So the first thing that you do in these kinds of situations, and really generally anytime they're being disrespectful, you do for yourself. You self-reflect. Number 1, self-reflect. I know this sounds overly simplistic, but it cannot be overstated. We've got to know what is going on with this. Why? So that we can be effective parents. If I go up to him and I scream upstairs, "What the is wrong with you? Why would you do something like that? How are you? Why do you do this? What's wrong with you? Come downstairs, help me, please. Why are you doing it? I don't want to." I'm a mess. I'm not trying to make light of a situation like this. A little bit I am, but just to free ourselves up around looking at how we feel. We can become so much more effective when we're aware of how we're feeling. If our hopelessness is driving our interactions with our kids, they're not going to want to be too stoked to talk to us and to open up to us, and maybe that we could even help or guide them in some way. If we're always angry, if we're always frustrated because of the way that they're acting, it's okay for us to feel those ways, of course. But deal with it, self-reflect, navigate it with our support network, our partners, our friends, therapists, coaches, whoever's appropriate to, and get to a place where we can be available for connection and clear about what to do. We'll talk about what to do later, but the first thing that we're going to want to do is self-reflect, and self-reflect with the purpose of becoming clear so that we can be a better person and also a better parent, okay? Second thing that we want to do is seek to understand. Let how we are drive to understand how they're struggling, right? Now you'll notice that the first 2 things that we're covering have nothing to do with them. They have everything to do with us. And if we can get to a place where we actually are curious, maybe desperate to understand, then their comments aren't going to have the same kind of rattling effect in us, in which case that they're trying to push us away because they don't feel safe, right? We are trying to understand them. We want to get to a place where we are curious, maybe a little desperate, but if we can navigate that desperation to a place where we can allow them to be however they are, meaning feel however they are, and that we're just curious because we want to understand, we free them up to be how they are. They don't have to change or be a certain way in order for us, because we are so driven and so passionately interested in understanding why they're struggling and why they're acting the way that they are. They might start to shift their behavior, and at least they might start to tell us about it. The foundation for any parent-child relationship is understanding. The whole point of seeking to understand is to build compassion. And when we can activate compassion inside of us and we express any conversation we have with them through compassion, then there's going to be a potential that they might not feel so alone in their struggle, and they might not try to push us away, right? There could be a whole host of things driving their disrespectful behavior. It could be depression. It could be anxiety. It could be worry. It could be self-esteem issues. It could be them being judged at school. We don't know. And we're not going to know unless we allow ourselves to, 1, self-reflect, 2, seek to understand through compassion. Because once we know what they're really struggling with and what's driving their disrespectful behavior, then we can do something about it. Now, the doing something about it might just be sharing how we feel as a parent, not in a way that make them responsible for our feelings, but in a way that I might say, "I don't know what to do, to be honest. I'm willing to do nearly anything to help you. and I don't know what to do. I'm feeling pretty lost here. So you can feel even in just my little acting gig right there that I'm communicating availability and some degree of confidence, right? Owning our insecurity makes us more secure as people, right? Most of the time. All right, so the third piece is structure. So we self-reflected. We've gotten to a place where we're really seeking to understand. And the third thing that's going to make a huge difference in navigating the disrespectful behavior of your child is around creating a structure that is intelligent, informed, and attuned, meaning that it's intelligent in that it does what it is intended to do. My definition of structure, they're a set of boundaries meant to inspire young people to become more independent. That's what structure is really about. Yes, it's to keep them safe, but that's elementary, all right? Structure should inspire them. It doesn't mean that they're happy about it. You don't have to be happy in order to be inspired, by the way. But it inspires them to become more independent, right? So meaning any kind of restrictions or boundaries that we place or that we communicate in their lives has them want to inspired to do that for themselves in a way such that they're not doing this consciously, but they are inspired to be more responsible so that they get more, right? That's what we really want them to do, is to be responsible, and that's another definition of maturity, responsibility, right? So the structure is intelligent in that it intends to inspire them to become more independent. 2, it is informed. It's informed by what's really going on with them. Let's say that we find out that they are irate at the world because their boyfriend dumped them and no one found out about it. Maybe they had been sexually abused or assaulted. Maybe they feel like everyone is against them and that they don't have anyone that they're connected to who's older than the age of 16. Maybe that's their reality that they're living in. It's important for us to understand that. So we want our structure to be informed by what's driving their struggle. By the way, it's not their responsibility to tell us of why they're struggling. It's our responsibility to look at their life, their friendships, their relationships, and using our own support network, create a structure that's informed by their struggle. Okay. The third thing about our structure, the third piece about our structure is that it's attuned, meaning it is attuned to how they're feeling. Even if they're pissed, even if they're angry, even if they're defiant, even if they're disrespectful, our structure is attuned to that. Let's give a little example of this. Let's say that they come home late and they're doing terrible in school, and we decide that we think the best thing to do is to take away their phone. So what's that going to do? Well, it's going to isolate them. It's going to have them feel more frustrated with us. It might actually have them behave better, but it may not actually address the loneliness that they feel, right? So what's a more intelligent way of navigating them doing better in school and not coming home on time? Well, we might actually communicate to them, I thought about taking your phone away, but I realized that you'd probably just find another way to get online. Number one. Number two, it probably would make you pissed. Number three, it would probably make you feel more lonely. So instead of taking it away, I'm going to let you use it for 2 hours a day when you get home from school. Okay? If your grades get better, and I'm super helpful, I'm super available to help you do better in school, by the way, but you got to. Straight D's is not okay. B's and C's would be okay, but you're not doing that, and you've got to. And I don't know what else to do besides limit certain things in your life in order to inspire you to do better in school. And if you feel hopeless about school, tell me, then we can do something about it, right? So you can feel how the structure that I'm implementing, which might be just 2 hours of phone use or less, it's informed by what I think they're struggling with. I might have said even that you probably feel terrible because you probably feel stupid in school, I would imagine. Do you? I don't know. I'm asking them questions. It's informed, it's intelligent relatively, and it's attuned, and meaning I'm attuned to what I think they might be going through, right? So this is an art. It takes some practice, but if you use those three qualities to to color your structure, it'll really help, right? So let's recap. You self-reflect first. Why? Because it's so important to be aware of how we feel, people remember how they felt. They remember how they felt when we talked. They don't remember our words. Number 2, seek to understand. Really look to understand what's going on in their world. It helps us soften and helps us activate compassion inside of us. And 3rd, have a structure that is informed, intelligent, and attuned. I know this is a challenging moment, but if you implement these strategies and these techniques, it will absolutely help. Okay? I'm with you in this. All my best.